When it comes to marketing yourself in the property industry, we're starting to see social media, virtual reality and portals play an important role. With me now to discuss this and more is Peter Grant of VTUK. Peter, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleased to meet you.
Peter, imagine if you're working in the property industry, communication with your clients is very, very important. A key aspect, if you like. Has software had any particular impact on the way that property agents are communicating?
You've absolutely hit the nail on the head. And in actual fact, in the industry, it's probably one of the biggest driving forces at the moment. You're seeing the rise of online agents. And the reason that these companies exist is because of the way that they communicate with people. So they're 24/7, data on demand, very convenient ways of actually selling or buying or letting property. And it's something that high street agents are now very much focusing on to try and offer the same levels of service that an online agent has, but also with the high street presence and probably a little bit more local knowledge. So yes, it's very important, and technology is driving that through client portals and online access to information.
When it comes now directly to marketing yourself within the property industry, what role do the kind of virtual reality portals, social media play, and how can software help agents go about marketing themselves directly?
It's a bit of a moving target, as all things with technology. One minute you think that you're right on top of the game with communications and marketing, and then 5 minutes later it's completely different. Most agents are probably using email and starting to graduate towards text messaging for their communications, because I think 95% of text messages get opened, only 20% of business emails. But far more effectively is to allow people to take their communications when they want them. So if we're buying a house together, we've gone back and sat on the sofa with a glass of wine, it's quite useful for us to be able to log onto our iPads and go through all the communications that we're receiving from our agents. It's one of the biggest complaints, of course, that people have, is they don't receive enough communication. So that's as the process of the transaction. Then there's the communication of the wow factor. And agents now are starting again to use things like Periscope, where they can create a closed group, the Twitter application, so that one of the negotiators can actually walk around a property, show people around that property, receive tweets from the 200 people in the closed group that are watching that, and give a really good interactive presentation to 200 people instead of showing 200 separate people around. And there's also been experimentation with 3D cameras, like the Ricoh Theta S, where an agent can actually take that camera around, hold it in front of them, do one presentation, and then upload it to the web. And anyone anywhere in the world can then walk around that house and turn around, look at the negotiator, look at the cupboards, see the whole rooms and see how they're actually getting on. With both of those, we've got situations where sometimes the software is great, but the hardware is not fantastic. And in the case of the cameras, where the cameras are fantastic, but the software isn't great. They're starting to develop, and I'm sure that as they do, they'll be used more and more. Some of it's very accessible. So most of us have an Apple phone or some kind of Android phone. You can put those into a set of virtual reality specs, and you can just see that. You can walk around the room and you can feel it. A bit less accessible is technology that's just coming onto the market. Something that we've been looking at is using Microsoft's HoloLens application, which is an incredible thing, where you can actually have a headset in Peking, you can have a headset in Chiswick, we can have mapped a room that's in Battersea, and I can actually go to that room without leaving my office in Chiswick. I can have someone join me from Peking in that room, and I can talk them around that building without any of us leaving our chairs. Now, this is technology that we might be working on today, but that will actually be in the market. And obviously, HoloLens has now been around for almost a year, so we'll be fully into the market probably in the next 6 months. So things are really, really changing dynamically. And if you link that to a very powerful client portal where you can engage with people all around the world on the internet, then all of a sudden you have something that's interactive. And I think that's the way that the world's going, where we seem to be very fixed in the 2D world at the moment, staring at telephone screens, staring at computer screens. It's not natural for humans. Humans want to be able to connect with each other and react in the world. that's the way that technology is going. And for selling property, of course, it's absolutely fantastic. For any agents that want to have a bit of fun, drones are fantastic as well.
Fantastic. Peter, thank you very much indeed for spending time with us and for explaining that and for opening up several very exciting possibilities. I love the idea of searching for my next home out in Southeast Asia from the comfort of my own lounge. It sounds perfect.
Fantastic, thank you.
Peter there from VTUK explaining some of the great innovations that are happening in the property industry and how that can help people marketing property and people looking for that dream home.